Imagine stepping into the cage with one of the fiercest fighters the world has ever seen, a man whose knockouts left opponents crumpled and fans speechless. We're talking about Bas Rutten, the Dutch phenom who took the MMA world by storm in the 90s. From lighting up pancrase with lightning-fast strikes to making his mark in the UFC, Bas's journey is filled with brutal finishes, jaw-dropping knockouts, and epic moments that are still talked about today. Stick around as we break down some of Bas Rutten's most savage knockouts, each one more electrifying than the last. Bas Rutten vs Minoru Suzuki, 1994. One of Bas Rutten's most defining moments came on July 6, 1994, when he faced Minoru Suzuki, the undefeated co-founder of Pancrase. Suzuki, who was highly respected in the MMA world for his technical grappling and striking abilities, was no match for Bas Rutten on this fateful night. Bas's power and precision were on full display as he swiftly dispatched Suzuki with just a few brutal strikes. It didn't take long for Rutten to show just how dangerous he could be. With remarkable speed and striking technique, he overwhelmed Suzuki within the first round, finishing the fight with a devastating combination that left Suzuki unable to recover. The fight demonstrated Bas's ability to control the pace from the opening bell and impose his will on any opponent, regardless of their reputation. The knockout not only made a statement to the Pancrase organization, but also to the entire MMA world, solidifying Bas Rutten's status as one of the most feared fighters of his generation. His reputation for finishing fights quickly and brutally was cemented in the minds of fans, with this particular victory standing out as a hallmark of his early career. Bas Rutten vs Oriushi Yanagisawa, 1993. Bas Rutten's Pancrase debut in 1993 was nothing short of a spectacle. He faced Oriushi Yanagisawa, a fighter who outweighed him by 45 pounds, but that didn't deter Bas in the slightest. Rutten showcased his signature aggression and striking power by knocking Yanagisawa out in just 48 seconds, a blow so devastating that Yanagisawa had to be carried from the ring. The knockout was so brutal that Yanagisawa was hospitalized for 2 days, and Rutten himself feared for his opponent's well-being. The precision and ferocity of Rutten's strikes were evident, as he demonstrated that size and weight were no match for his speed and power. The fight left a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it, as Bas showed that he was a fighter who could handle any challenge, regardless of the size difference. Not only did it establish Rutten as a force to be reckoned with, but it also set the tone for his career, demonstrating that he was capable of dismantling opponents in mere seconds. His willingness to take on larger opponents and finish them so decisively showcased his true potential, signaling the rise of one of the most dangerous men in combat sports. Bas Rutten vs Takaku Fuke, 1993. In October 1993, Bas Rutten faced off against Takaku Fuke, a seasoned Japanese wrestler with a considerable amount of experience in the Pancrase organization. Fuke was known for his toughness and grit, having fought against some of the best in the sport, but he quickly found himself overpowered by Rutten's ferocious and fast-paced fighting style. From the opening moments, Bas pressured Fuke, cutting off the ring and delivering a series of punches, kicks, and knees that left Fuke with little room to maneuver. Rutten's relentless striking attack left Fuke no choice but to absorb shot after shot, unable to recover as Bas continued to press forward. As the fight progressed, it became clear that Fuke's resilience was no match for Bas's precision and aggression. After a brutal barrage of strikes, Fuke was finally overwhelmed, with the referee stepping in to stop the fight before Fuke could sustain any further damage. This victory was another demonstration of Rutten's ability to dominate opponents with his striking, and it reinforced his reputation as one of the best and most aggressive fighters in Pancrase at the time. Rutten's versatility and aggression made him a dangerous and feared opponent, and this victory was a reminder of his extraordinary talent in the ring. Bas Rutten's UFC debut vs Yoshiki Takahashi, 1999. Bas Rutten made his UFC debut in May 1999 against Yoshiki Takahashi at UFC 18, marking the beginning of his UFC career. This fight was significant because it was the first time Bas stepped into the octagon under the UFC's full MMA rules, which included the use of closed fist strikes, something he hadn't been allowed to do in Pancrase. Rutten wasted no time adjusting to this new style of fighting, showing that his skills could adapt and thrive in any environment. From the start, Rutten displayed a level of aggression that Takahashi could not handle. His strikes were precise and powerful, landing with authority as he punished Takahashi with knees, punches, and a calculated ground game. Rutten's ability to maintain control of the fight while dealing out brutal strikes earned him a dominant victory in his UFC debut. The victory showcased his well-rounded skill set, proving that he was not only capable of performing in the pancrase ring, but also ready to dominate in the more conventional UFC setting. This debut signified the start of Rutten's rise to UFC glory, as he would go on to secure the UFC Heavyweight Championship and become one of the sport's greatest fighters. His adaptation to UFC rules, combined with his superior fighting style, solidified his place among the best. Bas Rutten as Kengo Watanabe, 1995. In 1995, Bas Rutten faced off against Kengo Watanabe, a fighter who stood at 6'4" and weighed 220 pounds, giving him a significant size advantage over Rutten. However, Rutten was no stranger to fighting opponents who had a size advantage, and he once again demonstrated his ability to overwhelm larger opponents. Rutten's speed and striking were too much for Watanabe to handle. Bas constantly pressured Watanabe, never giving him the opportunity to settle into his own rhythm. Rutten's strikes, particularly his liver shots, were a key factor in breaking down Watanabe. The liver punch, one of Rutten's signature moves, left Watanabe in agony, unable to continue the fight. This victory was particularly significant because it demonstrated Bas's ability to win against much larger and heavier opponents. Rutten's mastery of timing, distance, and technique allowed him to neutralize Watanabe's size advantage, making it clear that Bas could take on anyone, regardless of how big they were. The win further solidified Rutten's growing reputation as one of the top fighters in the world and marked another dominant performance in his illustrious career. It was a perfect example of how Rutten's striking abilities were unmatched in the sport. Bas Rutten vs Katsuomi Inagaki, 1996. Bas Rutten's fight against Katsuomi Inagaki in April 1996 was a turning point in Rutten's career. Inagaki, who had never been finished in his career, came into this fight with a solid reputation as a tough and durable fighter. However, Rutten's relentless pace and devastating strikes were too much for Inagaki to handle. From the start, Rutten pushed forward, landing heavy blows that slowly broke Inagaki down. Bas was in control throughout the entire fight, demonstrating his ability to dictate the pace and impose his will on his opponent. Rutten's dominance became increasingly evident as the fight wore on, and Inagaki found himself unable to mount any offense. With each strike, Rutten demonstrated the power and precision that had made him a feared opponent across the globe. Finally, after a punishing series of attacks, Inagaki was unable to continue, and the referee stopped the fight. This victory was a significant milestone for Bas, as it was his first time finishing an opponent who had never been stopped before. It reinforced his reputation as a devastating force in MMA, capable of breaking even the toughest competitors. Rutten's combination of speed, power, and technique made him a dangerous fighter, and this win added to his growing legend. Bas Rutten vs Jason DeLucia, 1996. In June 1996, Bas Rutten faced Jason DeLucia for the third time in their careers. Rutten had already defeated DeLucia twice before, once by submission and once by knockout. This fight, however, would be different. Rutten had evolved significantly since their previous encounters and was now looking to make a statement by finishing DeLucia with one of his signature strikes, a brutal liver punch. DeLucia, who was known for his tough chin, found himself overwhelmed by Rutten's strikes, particularly the lethal liver punch. Rutten's ability to target the liver, a critical pressure point in the body, was on full display. As DeLucia absorbed the crushing blows, he was unable to recover and fell to the ground in agony. The referee stepped in to stop the fight, giving Rutten another well-earned victory. This knockout was another testament to Rutten's evolving skill set and his ability to end fights with a devastatingly precise strike. It was a perfect example of Rutten's evolution as a fighter, showcasing his ability to adapt and refine his technique to become one of the most dangerous men in MMA. Bas Rutten vs Masakatsu Funaki, 1996. At the 1996 Pancrase Anniversary Show, Bas Rutten faced Masakatsu Funaki, one of Pancrase's co-founders and a fighter who had handed Rutten one of his earliest losses by submission. This fight was an opportunity for Rutten to avenge his previous defeat, and he was more than ready to take on Funaki again. Rutten approached the fight with calculated aggression, using his striking to wear Funaki down over the course of the battle. The fight was intense, with both fighters exchanging strikes and looking for the decisive opening. However, it was Rutten's ability to control the distance, land powerful strikes, and maintain his composure under pressure that made the difference. As the fight wore on, Rutten's dominance became clear, and he was able to overwhelm Funaki, finishing him with a combination of punches and knees. This victory not only avenged Rutten's earlier loss, but also solidified his place as one of the top fighters in the world. The win against Funaki was a statement. Bas Rutten had become a true legend in the sport, capable of overcoming any challenge, no matter how difficult. And there you have it, Bas Rutten's incredible career, packed with unforgettable moments that solidified his place in MMA history. From his brutal liver punches to his lightning-quick knockouts, Bas showed the world exactly why he's considered one of the greatest to ever step foot in the cage. If you enjoyed this dive into Bas Rutten's savage legacy, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more knockout content from the world of combat sports. And if you're a true fan of MMA, hit that bell so you never miss an update on all things fight-related. Until next time, keep your fists up and your guard even higher.